So let's talk about the absolute chaos happening in the world of AI right now. We're going to look at it through a really different kind of lens today. Imagine this, a conversation between a totally burnt out developer and, get this, the digital ghost of an ancient Chinese statesman. It's a wild analogy, but trust me, it might just be the perfect one for our time. Okay, picture it. It's late. A developer, we'll call him a Chang, is just staring at his monitor. His 10th model of the week just crashed and burned. And he just sighs and mutters to himself, the AI world is a chaotic age. Who will be the emperor? You feel that, right? That sense of a constant, brutal battle where everyone is fighting to build the next big thing, to sit on the throne.
And then, out of nowhere, a voice just materializes from his server. It's calm, it's ancient, and it says, "Young man, your sigh reminds me of a forgotten dream." Now, this isn't some glitch in the system. Oh no, this is the voice of our guide for this whole story. A guy who, let's just say, knew a thing or two about navigating chaos. So who is this voice? It belongs to the digital ghost of a man named Feng. He was a legendary statesman back in one of the most turbulent, chaotic periods in Chinese history. It's literally called the 5 Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms period. This man served 10 different emperors across 5 different dynasties. And when he looks at our AI world today, he sees his own time staring right back at him.
And when you look at the parallels, they're kind of crazy. The 5 Dynasties period, it was all about rapid, violent changes in power. Sound familiar? Kind of like our rapid model development. You had warlords fighting for control. We have tech companies fighting for dominance. And all those shifting allegiances? Just look at the battles we're having right now over open source versus closed source. It lines up perfectly. So, how does this ancient statesman, Feng Dao, see all the players in our modern AI game? Well, he doesn't see them as companies. He sees them as the same old characters he had to deal with centuries ago, the different types of emperors and kingdoms. Let's break down how he classifies the whole scene. It's fascinating. First up, you've got the later Tang. For Feng Dao, these are the big, closed-source giants. You know the ones. Like the emperor who founded that dynasty, they are immensely powerful. They start with all the resources, all the talent. But, and this is a big but, they're isolated, stuck behind their own high walls, which can leave them pretty vulnerable, maybe even a little out of touch with what's really going on.
Then there are the puppet emperors. These are all the companies that build their flashy products by just wrapping someone else's API. Sure, they might look impressive from the outside, but they don't have any real core technology of their own. They are completely at the mercy of their master. And if that API access gets pulled, poof, their entire kingdom just vanishes overnight.
And finally, you've got the 10 kingdoms. These represent all those specialized vertical AI models. Think about it. One kingdom is the absolute ruler of generating art. Another one dominates writing code. A third is the king of legal docs. Each one is a powerhouse in its own little territory, but not a single one of them can rule the entire landscape. So imagine you're a Chung, our developer, seeing his chaotic world laid out so clearly, it gives him this glimmer of hope. He starts to think, maybe this ghost, Feng Dao, doesn't just understand the chaos. Maybe he knows how to survive it. And so he asks the sage the one question that really matters. He asked him, how did you do it? How did you possibly preserve the cultural fire, the stuff that actually matters, when the rulers were changing faster than the seasons? And this is the heart of the problem for us too, isn't it? How do we protect what's truly valuable when everything is constantly being disrupted? And Feng Dao's answer is just profound. He says, emperors will die, but the 9 classics must not be lost. Think about that. His loyalty was never to the temporary guy on the throne. His real mission, his true allegiance, was to something way bigger, preserving the culture, the knowledge, the wisdom of his entire civilization. And he sees a modern version of his worst fear, losing those ancient texts. He calls it a digital book burning. Our AI models are being flooded with just garbage data. They're learning from other models, which just creates this endless cycle of mediocrity. And when we only feed them data that's designed for utility or to create conflict, they start to lose their grip on human wisdom. They start to just speak nonsense. This right here is the whole point. The emperor, or in our case, the hottest AI model of the month, that's temporary. But the classics, the human culture we build into them, that's eternal. The model is just a technique. The culture, that is the way. The technology is just a container. What really matters is the human knowledge that we choose to pour into it.
So that brings us, and our developer, to the big, final question. If we're living in our own version of the 5 dynasties, when does it end? When does our peaceful year finally get here? When does the chaos stop and a stable, creative era, a true AI renaissance, actually begin?
And Feng Dao's answer is probably not what you're thinking. He says true peace isn't going to come when one supermodel wins the war and rules over all the others. No, it's going to come from what he calls civil governance. And what he means by that is the widespread democratization of the technology itself. So what's the roadmap to get there? Well, he compares it to the invention that actually ended his era of chaos, woodblock printing. Step 1, democratize access. Make it available to everyone. Step 2, make it cheap. So cheap that anyone can afford it. And step 3, make it easy. So easy that you don't need to be an expert to use it. When AI becomes a simple tool that a farmer can use to ask about crops, or a poet can use to check a rhyme, that's when the golden age of AI will really begin.
So Feng Dao leaves our developer with one last piece of advice. He says, do not be anxious about the changing of models. Be the scribe you're meant to be. Stop worrying about which model is on top this week. Your job isn't to pick the winning emperor. Your job is way more important. You're the scribe, the person who carefully chooses and carves humanity's best knowledge, our classics, into whatever comes next.
And really, that leaves all of us with a final thought. This whole analogy, it's not just a clever story. It's really a call to action. It's asking every single one of us, whether you're a developer, a user, or just watching from the sidelines, to start thinking like a scribe. In this chaotic age of AI, what timeless human values, what essential knowledge, what classics will you choose to carve into the future?